Cost per purchase.
C tier. A lot of people disagree with me on this. However, if you're running any meaningful amount of creative testing, you'll know that some of the creative getting all of the purchases at the lowest cost per purchase are actually not scalable. And the reason is because they're retargeting and scooping up all of the attribution. So C tier.
Hook rate.
A tier. This gives you a really good understanding if people are actually watching your hook.
Hold rate.
Also A tier. This gives you an idea of how many people are actually retaining through your video. And so it's really important that they get to the sell.
CPC.
D tier. CPC counts absolutely everything. So the number in CPC is not the number of clicks that went to your website, it's the number of people who clicked on the ad anywhere. So this is D tier because it's not a real number.
1 day view versus 1 day engaged view versus 7 day click breakdown.
S tier. This is super important. If you actually measure creative on a click versus engage through versus view through basis, you'll get a very clear understanding of whereabouts it sits in the funnel. Too far towards 1 day view and it's definitely retargeting. Too far towards 7 day click and it's probably scalable.
New versus engaged versus existing customer breakdown.
S tier. If you evaluate all of your metrics within the context of new, engaged, and existing customer audience segment breakdowns, given they're set up correctly, you will be able to really pinpoint which creatives are driving that first initial action in your funnel.
Add to cart rate.
Also S tier. This has become one of the best indicators to understand if which creative is actually driving that first click and that first entry point into your brand's conversion funnel.
Outbound CPC.
A tier. This used to be S. However, with Andromeda, Gem, ladders, and everything else changing the types of placements and the way the algorithm delivers, outbound clicks are no longer a direct proxy for amount of traffic because the quality of those outbound clicks has fluctuated a lot this year.
Frequency.
B tier. The problem with just viewing frequency is it doesn't take into account the CPM, which means your frequency is just a floating arbitrary number. However, it's still useful for relative context.
CPMR.
S tier, especially when you break this down with your audience segments for new, engaged, and existing customers, you'll get a really good understanding of how much it actually costs you to reach a new account on all of these metrics. Retargeting creatives will tend to have a more expensive CPMR, while higher funnel creatives that are driving that first click and are the scalable ones will have a cheaper CPMR, even if the CPM itself is more expensive. And this is super important for knowing which creative you actually want to iterate on and scale into.